What's up? Welcome back. I have been avoiding making this video for quite some time. This will probably be one of the hardest videos that I'll ever make, and I don't even know if I'm gonna post it yet. I don't even know if I do post it, if I keep it up, I don't know. So I put notes to my phone to help me stay on track. I apologize in advance for the cuts and the pauses. I'm trying to be transparent and I'm trying to be vulnerable, and this topic is so far out of my comfort zone to have a public conversation about. Making this video was really inspired by you guys. So I posted my first video back and told you guys a big part of my struggle was grief, and you guys in the comments, so many of you, and in my DMs, emails, shared stories of your own personal grief journeys and the people that you've lost, and how that impacted your life. And I felt like everybody else around me feels so brave and feels like they can just talk about their loss and talk about their sadness and talk about their journey, and I felt very cowardly. I felt very scared, and it's just too vulnerable for me. And I feel like if everybody else around me, I'm not saying everybody, but so many people around me are able to have these really tough conversations and share with strangers and share with loved ones and share with friends, like I should be able to do that. If you guys are willing to share with me, I should be able to share back. And so that's what inspired me. And I just see so many people that are going through and have gone through what I experienced. All right, a little bit of background. My brother is my baby brother. He is my only biological sibling. I am very much my brother's keeper. I am very much the big sister in charge. I was his literal second mom. There was not a single life event that I experienced that he was not there for. I talked to my brother probably every other day on the phone, and probably every single day via text or a social media DM, or sending something funny on the internet, whatever. Like, that was my best friend, and his relationship with everybody was just so incredibly special and unique. But that was my baby. At the time of my brother's passing, I think we were like ending of the pandemic of May 2021, and I was 5 months pregnant, and I had horrible pregnancy symptoms, like that hyperemesis gravidarum, I think is what it's called, where you're basically nauseous or vomiting all the time, like throughout your whole pregnancy. It's not just morning sickness, it's not just first trimester. I was sick the whole entire time. And so I was very big and pregnant, and but I was also, you know, in a new budding, amazing, beautiful relationship. My brother and my husband have formed this super tight bond really fast. And they just talked about everything. They were always, you know, yapping about something sports related or life related or whatever. Because he became like the big brother that my brother needed. Everything up until that moment of 2021 felt like, although my pregnancy sucked, it felt like everything was going the way that it was supposed to go in my life and for everybody else around me. We were planning vacations with my family, and everybody was so excited because I was finally having a boy after having 3 daughters, and my girls were all doing so well and made it through, you know, online school because of the pandemic, and therapy because me and their dad divorced, and everybody was just doing so so good, and it felt like life was just progressing in the way that it was supposed to progress. And it felt like that sigh of relief, right? Because we just dealt with so much. May 2021 changed my entire life. It changed my entire family's life. It changed a lot of the lives for my brother's close friends. It was single-handedly the worst time in my life. I've experienced so many things that are awful. That day I would never wish on anybody. It was literally the worst day of my entire life, and I relived that moment and that day and that phone call. I relive it so frequently, and I remember pieces of it differently. Like I'm seeing it from outside perspectives of how I felt, and then having my children hear my screams, and my husband picking me up off the floor, and me grabbing my belly thinking today is the day that I'm gonna lose my son because I can't breathe, and if I can't breathe, the baby can't breathe. And listening to my mom's voice on the phone, and I start just processing my grandmother's grief and my aunt's grief and my sister's grief and my children. And so I have been asked this question so much, like, how did my brother die? Because he was very young. He was 30 years old. And no, he wasn't sick. I know it was not an accident. And I have never shared what happened on any public platform, but my family has, my mother has. And I just felt so much shame because of how this happened. But my brother took his own life. My brother took his own life. There were no physical warning signs. There was no drug abuse. There was nothing. My brother was the life of the party. He was the light in the dark. He literally made everybody smile and laugh every single time he would enter a room. Brought just so much joy to everybody around him. The night before I received that phone call, I had woke up in the middle of the night from a horrible dream that my brother had died. And I text him telling him about my dream and telling him like I don't know why I feel this immense feeling, and I don't know why like I woke up feeling like he had already left, and I was like, I don't know why I feel like that, and I feel very scared, and I'm feeling very sad. And I was like, I know I'm pregnant, I'm 5 months pregnant, I know that I'm emotional, and I was like, I just feel something horrible, and I need you to be okay. And I was like, and if there's something going on, please just talk to me. And he was like, there's nothing going on, like I'm literally fine, I would never leave you. And he was like, I'm gonna be okay, like everything's okay. And I was like, promise me that you are gonna be okay, because I was like, I can't fly to you, I can't come to you, I can't pick you up. And I was like, I just don't feel good about this. And so that was our last that was our last conversation. The very next day he was gone. That 24 hours after, I have never felt so abandoned and so betrayed and so hurt, and I just felt a level of sadness I don't think was possible. And I just teeters between that anger and frustration and sadness, and anger and frustration and sadness. And finally, right when I hit a peak of acceptance, right when I'm like, you know what, he was suffering, he was suffering, right when I hit that and I feel okay and I feel that acceptance, I go right back to anger because my nephew calls me and he's sad because his daddy's not here, or because my kids are like, Mom, do you have a picture of me and Uncle Arius? And I'm like, I have to scroll so far back in my phone to find it, whereas that's not what it used to be. That was the driving force behind why I went into psychology. If I could go to school and I could learn about psychology, I can learn about mental health, I can learn about this, maybe it will make sense of what he did, and then I can in turn help other people, and so that they don't ever feel like that's their only option in life. And so that's what I did. So I went to school and I graduated with my BA in psychology, and it turns out I didn't feel any better. I just felt worse because there's not a cure, there's not a fix. I can't bring him back. And so just because I understand it, and because I can read it in a textbook, and because I can look at cases and I can see the statistics, I didn't feel any better. And I worry even more because I've learned so much more, because I have this knowledge. And I have a son, I have a nephew, I have a husband who are all Black men, and knowing that this is the third leading cause of death in America scares me. It terrifies me even more. I don't want to know that information, but I know it. I don't know. I just feel a lot of survivor's guilt as well. I feel like I'm getting to experience all these things and living life, and he doesn't get to do that, and I feel guilty. My overarching reasoning behind sharing this story is because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I feel like men's mental health struggles are ignored and very much go unrecognized. I'm gonna wrap this up. If you are struggling, if anybody you know is struggling, there are so many resources, but just talk to somebody, just say something. Do not think that you ever have to be in that fight alone. I know it can feel real dark and real scary, but I promise it can be okay, and you can come out of that darkness, and there is a light outside of that, and it doesn't feel like it. That darkness can feel like it's drowning you and like it's suffocating you, and I understand that, and I just don't. I wish I could take that pain away from people so that they don't have to feel that, but also so that their loved ones don't have to experience what me and my family has had to experience. I want to say thank you. Oh, I made it through. I want to say thank you to you guys for allowing me this space to be transparent and vulnerable and open and honest, allowing me this platform to share what's important, and not just the good things but the real things. And this will probably be the last time that I even have this be a topic in terms of my brother, but I do feel better having this conversation out loud anyway, and I feel better sharing. It doesn't feel like a weight, a secret, because I feel like I've been carrying it as a secret, even though it doesn't need to be. It's not really needs to be destigmatized so that people have an understanding of what it means and what it feels like to those left behind. And the more that it's talked about, hopefully it will lessen the amount of young men and women that take that route. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, supporting, and loving me. And I will see y'all in the next video. Less tears and in a much happier space. Okay, bye for now.